Hello, this is Dr. Hine, and welcome to the Math Bunker. Today we'll be solving a system of equations with a Ti-30XS calculator. Now, most math teachers will tell you that you really can't use the Ti-30XS because it doesn't have a graphing function, and for the most part they are true, but I developed a modification where you can use the Ti-30XS calculator and come up with a solution with two systems of linear equations. And here we have two equations. One is y equals negative 4x plus 8 and y equals x plus 3. Just a quick review, these equations meet somewhere. Y equals negative 4x plus 8. If I was to plot 8 on the y-axis and go down 4 and over 1, I would have a line that represents negative 4x plus 8. And if I was to plot a positive 3 and go up 1 unit over 1 unit, I'd have a line that represents x plus 3. They will meet somewhere, therefore forming a solution. The solution would be right there. But again, we're not going to use a graph. We're going to use the Ti-30XS calculator, which does not have a graphing function, but it has a statistic function called data. And when we go into data, we're going to look for L1 and L2. I'm going to draw a quick t-table and label it L1 and L2. And so if I was to go into my data mode of my calculator, L1 will be represented by the slope. So wherever there's an L1, I would put the slope. So I would put negative 4, and I would put 1 for the slope. And it would be adjacent to the y-intercept. The y-intercept would be the L2s. So the y-intercept 8 and 3 would be in the L2 slots. Now they have to match. Negative 4 has to go with 8 and 1 has to go with 3. Now since we don't have a graphing function, you'll need my top secret code, which is the opposite sign of D. What that means is, from your calculations, if you get a positive 8, you're going to change that positive 8 to a negative 8. So if D equals negative 2 on your calculations, you're going to change that to a positive 2. You're going to make that a plus 2. You're not going to cancel out. You're just going to change it to a plus 2. And then your x, y value of your solution, your x value would be a positive 2. In the second part of the code, the y value would be whatever E is. So if E is positive 5, it will remain positive 5. So if E is positive 5, it will remain positive 5, and that will be the y value of the solution. And my solution will be 2, 5. Now to put this in the calculator, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clear the calculator by hitting on and clear at the same time. That would clear the memory. Then simply push clear. I'll push data. L1, my x was negative 4. I'm going to push the negative button in the 4, and it puts it at the bottom. If I hit enter, it puts it into L1. Now I'm going to arrow over to get in the L2 slot, and I'm going to put in, remember the y-intercept was 8. I'm going to press the number 8, hit enter, arrow back over to L1 where the y-intercept was 1, where the slope rather was 1. Hit enter, and L2, 3. Okay, so y-intercept negative 4, slope 8, so y equals negative 4x plus 8. The slope is 1, and the y-intercept is 3, and y equals x plus 3, if I can say it correctly. So y equals slope of negative 4, 4x plus 8, 1x plus 3. Okay. which this represents my equation. Slope of -4, y-intercept of 8, -4, -8, 1 and 3. Now simply go to your home screen by hitting second and then mode, and it will quit. Second mode. Then hit second data. Select to var for two variable statistics and hit enter. And then from here, don't touch anything, everything's correct. The X's are in the L1s and the Y-intercepts are in the L2s. Everything's where I want it. So don't touch anything and go to calculate, hit enter. And then you're looking for D and E. And remember, it's going to be the opposite sign of D and whatever E is. So D is -1, its opposite sign is +1, and whatever E is, E where it says B equals 4, so my solution will be -1, +4. Okay, or rather my solution will be +1, because it's the opposite sign, +1, and +4. That is my solution, okay? So I'm going to have to change it, okay? Now, it's the opposite sign of D, which D is -1, we make it +1, and we don't do anything to the 4. So in the calculator, remember that D, that actually equaled -1, and since it's the opposite sign of D, I'm going to change it to a +1. And E, which is going to be my y coordinate of my solution, was 4, and so therefore my solution will be not -1 but +1, it's opposite sign. My solution will be 1, 4. And so when you have two equations of y equals -4x plus 8 and y equals x plus 3 using the Ti-30XS calculator method, opposite sign of D, which I changed the -1 to a +1, and whatever E is.